Welcome to RetroLogic. I'm John Cummins, and today I have with me Sam Wagers and special guest Hambone Johnny back with us again for what is this, like 3 or 4 times now? He's a regular.
The third time. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
How's everyone doing?
Good. How about you?
Great. Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Awesome. March is Paper Marchio, if you guys haven't heard yet. If you guys have NSO Expansion Pack, a Wii U, or an N64, feel free to play along with us throughout the month of March. That's a mouthful. I can't remember if Dan said we're only playing Paper Mario, or if he cared.
Only the first Paper Mario.
Okay. I mean,
that's the one that's most easily available.
Yeah. I mean, if you've just recently played it, like some people hopped on it as soon as it hit the NSO, like Drew from Dad's After Dark. I think he's already beat it twice or something like that. Yeah, if you guys want to play a different one, that's fine too, but this is the main one that we'll be playing. Alrighty. I guess we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about what we've bought and what we've played. Johnny, you can go first.
Yeah, sure. All right, so I felt like taking a ride aboard the hype train, so I have purchased Elden Ring, and I'm dying a lot. It's a good time. It's my first Souls game. I don't know why I chose this as my first attempt at a Souls, but heard all the great reviews and, was interested in the story. George R.R. Martin, you throw his name on there. Obviously, I'm a big fan of, Game of Thrones, anything that he's done. So, yeah, I've got maybe 3 or 4 hours into Elden Ring so far. Really enjoying it.
It's already crushed it.
It's already crushed my dreams multiple times. Earlier tonight, I beat like my first main big boss, so that's pretty jazzed to be able to do that. But I think it's all it's cracked up to be. Having a really good time with it. So that's awesome. The other game that I bought this week and also got a chance to play a little bit is Snood 2 on the DS. So we were having a little chat over with the Dad's After Dark crew relative to Monthly Mayhem this month, which is Mario Party. And one of the games is Stick and Spin, which Drew has called out as sort of similar to Snood. And Snood, I don't know if you guys played this back in the day, but this was like...
Yeah, puzzle game,
like kind of like Bust a Move.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I played this a ton on the family PC back in the day as a kid. So when the name Snood kind of got brought up, I'm like, oh, man, Snood is so great. It was so fun. And Tim in Discord posted, hey, did you know that there was a DS game of Snood? So I was like, oh, I have to have that.
It's probably like a grand total of $5.
Yeah, it was basically $5. I think I paid more for shipping to get it here. But yeah, it came in. I played the first level. Apparently, the theme of this game is like you're on vacation. So the first level you're at Mount Rushmore. And then there's this like killer track of a Star Spangled Banner that plays in the background. It's just like really rocking.
It's like a retro mix or a remix of it.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was, you know what, for $5 plus another $5 for shipping, can't go wrong. So yeah, I was having a really good time with that. But in terms of other stuff that I played over the last week or so, I just finished up my playthrough of Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons. I was playing that over on stream. It was my first playthrough of that game. Really enjoyed it. Really, really interesting Zelda game.
On Wii U?
Played it on the GameCube, but with the Game Boy player.
Oh,
so nice. I had the cart. I picked that up earlier, a couple months ago. That and Ages. I just haven't gotten around to Ages yet. But yeah, it's a great game. I don't know if you guys have played that one, but Link's Awakening is one of my favorite Zeldas of all time, and I really have a affinity for handheld Zelda, so having a chance to play that, it was great. Highly recommend if you haven't checked it out yet. Also, so I finished that up. Now I'm starting a playthrough of Super Mario Galaxy 2 over on my Twitch channel. So played that for the last couple times I've streamed. was a good time. Probably my favorite 3D Mario game of all time. So I really,
be mine too.
Yeah,
It
Sam,
definitely is a good one.
Yeah, I have this in my memory, like, oh, this is like my favorite Mario game, right? And I haven't played it since playing Odyssey, so this is really a test to see if it really is going to be my favorite. So far, so good. I think some of the power-ups in that game are just amazing, like Cloud Suit, the Boulder. I think there's like one or two other ones that are really good. The whole Yoshi concept is amazing. So yeah, I love that game. Couple other games I played this week. John, I know you've checked it out, but
Still
Retro
playing
Bowl. Still playing Retro Bowl. I am on my 17th season,
Oh,
I
good
think.
night,
So,
man.
yeah.
How many hours is that?
Probably like 30 hours or something.
I'll have to check your Switch and see here.
Yeah, it might be more than 30 at this point. But yeah, I've got my San Francisco team. Corkscrew Jones just retired. My quarterback. So I had to go pick up a new guy. I'm trying to finish all the Hall of Fame achievements before I move on. And the one I have left is win 10 Retro Bowls. So I think I need one or two more to kind of knock that off.
There's like a weird difficulty spike occasionally. I feel like my roster's pretty solid, and then I'll just have a season where I get absolutely destroyed. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be a team that's even like a contender, like just a rant. Like, I don't know. I've run across it a few times. I think I'm like 5 seasons in, and I've had it happen to me twice now.
Yeah, it's especially when that happens to you in the playoffs. It's just
you just get burned.
Breaks your heart. You're like, oh man. But yeah, if you, I don't know how what difficulty setting you have it at, but I think it defaults to dynamic, which is pretty cool. So the better you get, the more challenging it'll be. So maybe that's what's going on.
It could be, yeah.
But yeah, that's a fun game for $5.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I think I got it for $2 or $3. I think it was on sale when I pre-ordered it.
Yeah. I'd say if you only have $5, I'd probably go with Retro Bowl as opposed to Snood 2, but I'll leave that up.
You don't have to pay shipping for it.
That's it. And the last game here I'll call out is Skul, the Hero Slayer. So this one came out on Switch, I think, last year. They featured it in one of the indie directs, but I've been playing it on Game Pass. Really cool roguelite 2D pixel art game. You pick up a number of different heads. They give you different power-ups, and you're trying to basically just make your way through the different levels. As far as I've gotten like halfway through the game and then just got my butt kicked. So I haven't leveled up enough.
This the Konami published?
I don't think it's Konami. I could be wrong.
They put out a Skul, like Skull Boy, or so. They put out some platforming game that was, I think it was pixel art too. It wasn't developed by them, but it was published. It was like one of the last like recent games they did.
Yeah, I don't think I've noticed the Konami logo when I've been booting up the game, but I could be wrong. Ask my wife. I've been wrong before.
Oh, so I could be having a dream right now, and I could be totally off, but
yeah, for sure. But that game's fun. I mean, on Game Pass, no money out of pocket. It's a fun one, man. It's a fun one. But yeah, that's what I've been up to the last week or so.
Alrighty, Sam, what do you got for us?
I have one retro pickup today, which is pretty exciting. Trap Gunner for the PlayStation 1. This is a game I kind of looked at for a while, sounded really interesting. It tends to run semi-high, but I managed to make an offer that was accepted online for $30 for the loose disc, which is a little below the going rate. And I got a chance to try that out. It's a pretty unique game. It's like a top-down versus shooter with an emphasis on traps, as you might figure from the game. So basically, it kind of is a one-on-one, so I was just playing story mode against the computer. But it's very much structured like a fighting game in that respect, where it's basically you have a new opponent, you go to a new stage, you fight them, and then you progress through about like 8 stages, kind of arcade style. But yeah, I mean, you're running around placing different kinds of traps, like landmines and things that'll push people and things that'll be pits that they fall in. You have a gun, you have a melee attack, but traps are really like how you do big damage to people, and you can set them up in weird like chain reaction ways and stuff. So it's very interesting. It's one that would be really fun to play with other people, because it is a one-on-one. And that's the interesting thing, that even when you're playing against the computer, it actually keeps a split screen, because screen peeking is kind of part of the game.
Nice.
Because your traps will be visible on your half of the screen, but they will be invisible on the other player's half of the screen.
This kind of gives you a
Now,
heads
you do
up.
have a way to detect them, but you have to go into like a search mode, which makes you move slower, and you can't attack while you're doing that. But that allows you to actually detect traps, and you can disarm them as well. But if you get shot while you're trying to disarm a trap, it'll just blow up in your face. So it's a lot of fun. I basically played through the story mode one time. It's kind of like a fighting game arcade story mode, so it doesn't take long to do that. But yeah, that's one that actually, now that PiePacker has their Bring Your Own ROM available, I want to try to set that up to play with other people, because that could be interesting. But because they do that for PlayStation 1 games, as long as I can create an image of the game.
Nice.
And I've been playing a lot of Triangle Strategy, because it is basically the greatest thing ever.
No way.
Yeah, we're all going nuts for it. We have a channel for spoiler chat in the Discord.
Gosh.
It's interesting to see too how the plot diverges, because I think a lot of us are reaching that point now,
Where you're all going down different
the
paths.
story kind of branches in what seems to be a huge way. I don't think it's not like the first choice you have, where it's like, we can go here or we can go here, and you come back and then everything's the same from that point on. But yeah, there's around like chapter 7, there's a pretty big choice to make. It was in the first demo actually, so it's not a huge spoiler, but I'll just leave it at that.
I've been avoiding that channel on Discord until I start playing.
I mean, we still tag everything. The things I've given up on tagging is names of optional characters, because they're not going to mean anything to you.
Yeah, no.
They're just random people who show up. They're not like people who were in the story up to that point.
By the time I actually get to it, that channel's going to be like a novel that I'll have to read. It's going to be the same amount of text as it's in the game.
And other than that, back last week, it feels like forever ago now, but last Tuesday I was streaming again, like I usually do, and started my playthrough of Earthbound Beginnings, so I'll be continuing that. Actually made what feels like a lot of progress through the beginning of the game, because I have 3 of the 8 melodies. But as I remember, those kind of come quickly, and then there's a big gap before you get another one. A lot like Earthbound's melodies. Like Earthbound, you do so much stuff in Foreside before you get another one. So
is this
not
a
the
good
best
streaming
metric.
game?
I think it is. I mean, it's an RPG, and
There's a lot of
RPGs are
grinding
kind of
in it.
nice. Yeah. Well, yeah. There's always the grinding.
Like more so than
that
normal?
can be nice though, because it's you can carry on a conversation while still making progress in the game.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice for streaming in that sense.
As long as it's not like a whole
It
streaming
can hold you
session.
back when it becomes long. But at the end of the day, it's actually not a super long game. In some ways, even the fact that it's grindy is the fact that it isn't long, because
They're trying to
there
make
was
it
a
longer.
cut. Well, there's an area cut before the final dungeon, and they left everything the same. So there's just a huge level spike in the difficulty of enemies.
I never knew that.
So you just kind of have to struggle through and gain a bunch of levels really fast. Although even then, that's not going to help you, because Mount Atoy is horrible. All the enemies spam instant death attacks, so there's no helping you, no matter how many levels you gain.
Oh, jeez. Have you beat this game, Sam?
Yes, I beat it back when it came to the Wii U. But that's the only time I played through it. So this is only my second time playing the game, because ever since I got rid of my Wii U, I haven't been able to play it.
I have this on my Wii U, and I haven't started it yet. I kept wanting to.
Earthbound?
Yeah, I've played Earthbound.
I mean, I would definitely encourage anyone curious about the series, start with Earthbound.
Yeah, until push yourself through.
Yeah,
beginnings.
Earthbound, it's not even so much difficulty or anything. I think it feels like a half-formed version of Earthbound in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
If you're a fan, it's worth playing. But if you're curious about the series, play Earthbound first, because Earthbound Beginnings, in a lot of ways, is like a prototype of it.
Yeah, that's kind of how Ogre Battle works. The March of the Black Queen's pretty much the same concept as 64, but kind of watered down. Like like you said, it's the concept work for the next game, and then the next game just adds onto it a whole lot. So, same thing. All right, is that it for you?
Yep, that's it for me.
All right, I'm going back to what we were talking about in Johnny. I found that game. It's called Scale Attack. That's what Konami put out.
Oh, okay, cool.
You play as a skeleton. It's very similar looking. Maybe not gameplay wise, but I had to look. I was like, now I'm racking my head.
Yeah, if you didn't look, I was going to. So thanks for saving me some time there.
Yeah. All right. So what I picked up this week is Dive Alert for the Neo Geo Pocket Color. Actually, this is a Neo Geo Pocket game, but they play in color. If even the original ones, it's kind of a different deal to what Game Boy did. And it's kind of a weird game. It's split into two versions, kind of like Pokemon is. But it's like a sonar type gameplay, like where you're basically just the whole game is played on a radar when it's not going through dialogue, and you have to like avoid attacks and attack ships and stuff. But I'm still not really sure why it's split into two versions yet. I haven't quite figured that out. But it's fun nonetheless, and definitely want to at some, I have no idea when I'll get to it, but it's definitely on the list to play through. Sega game I got was Jet Set Radio Future / Sega GT, the pack-in game for Xbox. Listening to $2 Hero talk about this, I had to get a copy of it at some point, so I figured why not now? It's the best time, and I'm not going to buy the Dreamcast version because it's harder to get and costs more.
Yeah, this one's pretty cheap too.
Yeah,
right?
it's like
only like $10 or something like that.
I think I paid 15, but I'm not 100% sure what the going rate is. I didn't figure it'd be much less or more than that, so I went ahead and grabbed it. It's pristine, like super good condition. So
nice.
And then next up, I have 4 games that I got from Zach, which are Blades of Time for the 360, Spectral Force 3 for the 360, Dragon Age Origins Ultimate Collection for the 360, which contains Origins and what's the other game? I just drew a blank. It's the sequel to that, the one that came afterwards.
It's not Inquisition, is it?
No,
that's more recent.
No, that was afterwards. What is?
Doesn't have a skeleton in it, does it?
Nope, no skeletons. Yeah. All right, moving on.
Does it have a dragon in it?
Yes, lots of dragons. I also grabbed Ghost Squad from him.
Nice.
Yeah, that's another one that I want to go back and play again. I just don't have time. It's so fun. And then I grabbed an Xbox 360, the slim model, to put on my computer desk to be my workhorse for all my Xbox and Xbox 360 games. I've got an original Xbox 360 model, but it's like the disk drive's howling, and like it's got the smallest hard drive. I think it's maybe a 20 on it. So yeah, you definitely can't put very many games on it. So he had a good deal going, so I grabbed it. And then I also got a bundle of games from Limited Run that I ordered last April or May that I almost forgot about. And those were both the Double Dragon games they had, which were 4 and Neon, and for Switch. And then also Castlevania Anniversary Collection for Switch. the NES edition or whatever, the collector's edition. I didn't buy the big monster pack. The one was like $200. I almost did, and then I was like, man, that thing has got to be like a bigger than a couple Xboxes stacked together. I don't have anywhere to put that, so I'm gonna start downsizing my collector's editions. And then the last game that came in that bundle was the Mega Man Wily Wars collector's edition for Genesis, which is crazy that game, like, if you just buy it from limited run, I think it was like $70, and leave it packaged, it's worth $400 right now.
Yep, I missed that one. I didn't have any like Sega anything at the time.
Yeah,
I thought about it.
You should have just bought it.
Yeah, and I wish I'd bought it. But it was only like a month they were taking pre-orders. So
yeah, it was still one of the ones that didn't last very long. It's not like it is now where you have like it's limited run still because there's a window, but that's about it. There's no more of this. There's only 1,000 copies of this game. Everybody jump on it once.
Yeah.
Like whenever I bought Bloodstained, the collector's edition, that thing sold out in like 2 minutes, and I barely got a copy of it. And it's also like a $400 or $200-something game now, if it's still sealed. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how this limited run market works out in the future. Like, are they going to stay spiked up like that? Because they truly are limited.
I feel like they can, as many as they're doing, but I don't know.
I think the reason why they're still staying up there is just they're not circulating very much. Like, the people that have them are just holding on to them.
Yeah.
Get onesie twosies that leak out, and somebody's like, oh man, I missed that one, I got to buy it. So they'll pay whatever, someone's asking for it. But yeah, that's my grabs for the week. It's a little bit more than what I usually do, but again, limited run was like almost a year ago, and it just randomly showed up on my doorstep. That's usually how they work. I forget that I even ordered them, and they just show up. Like, oh, what's this box? As far as what I played, I really just buckled down and completed Pokemon Legends Arceus. Or I don't know, Arceus, however anybody wants to pronounce it, I guess. I didn't do the in-game stuff. I literally just rolled the credits and I had my fill, and I'm ready to move on. I'm happy to just have completed it.
Are you ready to move on to another generation of Pokemon now?
No, I will buy them. They will be at my house, but they will be floating between my kids who are been playing Pokemon for a while. My son's been playing usually the last 2 or 3 I think since like Hey You, we've been playing them together. But now my daughter's 9 and she's old enough to get interested in playing and reading all the dialogue, so I think this next run I'll let her play the extra copy that we have. But man, Arceus, that new mechanic where you throw the bombs at the Pokemon, that's not for me. Like, that got kind of annoying. There was a couple where I had to try several times because the dodge is not great. There's a lot of extra time that you have to recover at the end of a dodge, and like I would dodge one attack and the other one would just blast me as soon as I came out of it. But overall, no, I'm happy. I'm glad I played it. It was definitely a breath of fresh air from the normal formula, and still fun. So, all right, that's all I played. So I guess we'll move on to playing something else together. All of our game show stuff. We'll start with Price's Retro. Alright, so this is the Price's Retro. If you guys haven't played with us before, we basically all bring a list to the table with prices, and we take turns listing them off, and everybody guesses, and whoever gets closest wins. With the new rules, you can't win by just having the overall better price. You now have to win a series of lists to be the true winner. So, who wants to go first? Do we want Sam? Why don't you go first? I can't remember the last time you went first.
All right, I'll start us off. All of these are complete in box games. I'll say it again as I go through the list, though.
They're not boxes.
Games. They are not boxes. They are games in boxes with the manual. Armored Core Master of Arena for the PlayStation, complete in box. King's Field 2 for the PlayStation, complete in box. Echo Knight Beyond for the PlayStation 2, complete in box. And Adventures of Cookie and Cream for the PlayStation 2, complete in box.
Oh my gosh. What was that second game?
King's Field 2 for the PlayStation.
What genre is
Yeah,
that?
what kind of missed that?
First-person dungeon crawler, I believe.
Okay.
I don't think I've heard of any of these.
I think I'm going to say 250. And I'm probably
250
way
per pound.
high because they're all PS2, but you never know.
Again, I have no idea what I'm doing, so preface that. I was going to say 350.
Okay.
So let's go with that.
350. All right. Looks like you take it because the total value is $443.10.
Must be that cookies and cream
So
game.
Yeah,
glad
good
you guessed
job.
above the ghost. It is not. Adventures of Cookie and Cream is $22.02. Echo Knight Beyond is $270.41.
Good night.
King's Field 2 is $88.61, and Armored Core Master of Arena is $62.06.
I knew
It's
that
one of the
one
more
was-
expensive Armored Core games.
Yeah, I knew that one was up there a little bit, but
But yeah, Echo Knight Beyond is just one of those random horror games that becomes valuable because
of course.
that just happens. So these are all From Software games. This is inspired by
cool.
people arguing over whether Elden Ring is the best FromSoft game, and they forget that FromSoft made all kinds of games before Dark Souls, before Demon Souls.
Oh yeah.
So I just want to be that guy, like, it's no Adventures of Cookie and Cream. We all know that the real best FromSoft game is Metal Wolf Chaos. And the reason is because I am the president of these great United States of America.
I think we all have to agree that cookies and cream is like the best candy bar too.
It's real good.
It's so good. Just by looking at Sam, he might not be a fan.
It's okay.
I did have some cookies and cream ice cream
Nice.
at Cold Stone this weekend, so
Man, that's just as
got that
good.
going for me. Yeah, that's it.
Alrighty. We'll let Johnny go next. I guess I'll go last.
All right. Yeah, no worries. I do have a theme. It's a dumb one. You guys will catch on pretty quick, I think. The first game is Perfect Picture Hair Salon for the DS, complete in box. Second game, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, Eye of the Beholder, Sega CD, loose. Next game is Big Nose Freaks Out, NES, loose. Next one, WWE SmackDown, Shut Your Mouth, PS2, loose. And last one here, Scarface, The World Is Yours, PS2, loose.
Sam, you going first? What do you got?
I guess I'm going first. $119.
All right, 119 for Sam. I think I'm going to go a clean 200.
Okay. Well, John, you got this one? Oh, actually, I think the Ghost has this one. So it's 290.
Oh,
51
geez.
is
Yep.
the total.
Oh, yeah, the ghost takes it.
I didn't do that on purpose. It's just sort of what, after my face theming.
Hey,
that's
this
what
is
I
why the
Mine-
ghost always guesses 300. If you pick 3 to 5 arbitrary games,
It's about the average.
it often winds up there.
Yeah.
Unless you're intentionally picking really expensive or really cheap ones.
Yeah, no, I kind of just go for a dumb theme and see how it works out. Is usually my approach. So
All right, so the Ghost has a win,
Ghost.
and Sam has. All right. No.
Oh, do you want the game
Nope.
game by game breakdown?
Johnny has a win, and the Ghost
That's right.
has a win.
Johnny and the Ghost. Yeah, you can do your breakdown.
My lot.
Cool. All right, Perfect Picture Hair Salon is $69.96.
Shoot.
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Eye of the Beholder is $27.44. The big one of the lot is Big Nose Freaks Out is $146.28. Shut Your Mouth WWE SmackDown is $12.51. Scarface The World Is Yours was $34.32.
I can't believe that DS game was almost $70.
That was shocking to me. I was like, what is going on?
I had like
it come with,
$5.
like a special comb or something?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Golden comb amiibo.
Golden
stylus.
comb. Yeah, comb stylus. Who knows?
Okay. So my list is the last one, and I did a Sam on my list, so here we go. Blades of Time for the PS3, complete in box. Time Pilot for the Atari 2600, complete in box. Pilot Wings for the N64, complete in box. And Wings of War for the Sega Genesis, complete in box. And I think it's Johnny's turn to guess first.
I've got 180. 180.
All right.
We got 130.
130. Alrighty. The total of my lot is 323.11. So Dan better get those Poltergeist stickers ready.
Wow.
Because the Ghost has now taken 2 games and has beaten all 3 of us.
Ghost is one.
So Blades of Time for the PS3 complete in box is $75. If you want to play this game, the Xbox version is a lot cheaper. I think it's like less than $20.
Yeah, I'm surprised. PS3 game, wow.
Yeah, this is a classic case of PS3 versus Xbox 360. Usually the PS3 game is quite a bit higher, like 2 to 3 times higher than the Xbox 360 version. Time Pilot for the Atari 2600 complete in box is $51.50. Pilot Wings 64 for the N64 complete in box is $63 right now. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, wow.
Wings of War for the Sega Genesis complete in box is $133.61. And I'm assuming that War is the name of the character because it's spelled W-O-R.
That's too funny.
Yeah, that's why it's at the end of the list, because there's no other games that start with War, W-O-R. All right, so yeah, there we go. We talked about it. The Ghost has won officially. Kicked our butts. That's what happens when everybody's list is around the $300 mark like ours were.
Yep.
So yeah, Dan's going to have to get those stickers ready. I don't know how many he's given out, but...
Get the ghost burp sound effect in there, maybe.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to do that. All right, so I don't have any Spot the Fakes, unless you guys have any. Or games described badly. I don't know if Dan didn't send me any.
I should have made another list. Those are fun to make.
Yeah, I didn't.
I was too busy playing Triangle Strategy.
And no Blankopedias this week either, I assume. So I guess we'll go down to my crappy trivia card, and you guys can take a stab at what's either going to be a super difficult challenge for you, or something that my kids could answer. So, what was the name of the new game in the Assassin's Creed series that was released in 2020?
2020.
That Odyssey?
It's
2020 wasn't that long ago.
I think it's Odyssey.
That's
yeah, because
Odyssey.
Origins was the one before that, right?
Yeah, because everybody was naming their games Odyssey then.
2020 was actually
Mario
Valhalla.
Odyssey.
Oh, 2020 was Valhalla?
Yep.
No!
You just played through it.
100 hours of Valhalla. I didn't know.
So here we go. We already stumped Stumped you
Got it.
guys once. All right, this
I
video.
even got an Assassin's Creed question, man.
There you go. The video game Grand Theft Auto 5 is set in which fictional city?
That's L.A.,
And
right?
Yeah, but what's its
No.
city?
fictional city?
Oh, fictional
Is
series.
that-
Oh,
San Andreas?
no.
That's the second. That's the
Vice City?
That's
I
the
don't
game
know.
called San Andreas.
yeah,
I don't know which GTA is
which
which.
does take place in San Andreas. I'll give him that, but that's definitely not Grand Theft Auto 5.
It's not like Los Santos or something, is it?
It is Los Santos. Where'd
All
you
right, there we go.
you pulled that one out of thin air.
Yeah, pulled that one out.
All right, so you guys are 1 for 1 on that one. All righty, so now we have all the game stuff out of the way. Everyone, don't forget to check out the Prices Retro database that good old Flightsy puts on, and he does a pretty good job with that. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that we probably never even thought would be tracked or would be interesting to track. He's tracked it all. There's nothing
You gotta
left.
give it up to Flightsy.
Yeah, nothing
He is
left
dedicated
unturned.
to his craft.
He is. When he's not blowing up Kirby's 35th anniversary channel with Kirby memes, I think there's one for like every day of the year in there now. He's definitely working on the database or going to school. So give it up to Flightsy. All right, so now we can move on to our show topic. We are going to talk about the Wii U and 3DS eShops are going to be closing soon, and I thought it would be nice if we put together some list of some good games that everyone can go check out that were exclusive to the eShop that didn't have physical versions for you to fall back on. These games will be dust here shortly, unless Nintendo rolls the dice and brings one back at some point in the future, which with the Switch seems to be happening more and more. More franchises come back that I never thought I'd ever see again. Strikers being one of them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so did you guys put together some list, or you just have some in your head you think of?
Yeah, how do we want to do this? Do we want to go like one at a time? Do you want me to just dump my list on you?
Well, let's start with the 3DS. I think will be a little easier. I think there's probably more exclusive games to that eShop that would be more interesting. And we'll see. And if somebody mentions a game from your list, we'll just leave it off on the next person's list. But as long as they all get coverage and we talk about them, I'm good with it. So Sam, you can go first with yours.
All right. Well, first one I've got is Sakura Samurai. Anybody else remember this? It did get a shout out in Smash, I think. I don't think. Is there like an assist trophy? I know there's at least like some spirits or something. So it's good. It's good to see that that's remembered. Just a very kind of like quintessentially like an eShop game. Like it has kind of an arcade feel to it, but it's actually surprisingly there's a lot of stages. Like that game went on a lot longer than I was expecting it to for what it was. But very touch control based. Yeah. I don't know. It was a lot of fun. It was pretty unique among all the stuff Nintendo does. So.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever played that one.
I haven't either.
Admittedly, I came late to the 3DS, so I'm not as well versed as probably you guys are, but it sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a lot of like using the stylus to like cut things, and you'll have like different things come at you, and you've got to cut them certain ways, and but it's really well done. Like there's plenty of other games that tried to do that, and they get boring really fast, and this one doesn't.
So this is not Fruit Ninja,
Nintendo
basically.
Yeah, it's like if Fruit Ninja was a real game.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to sum that up. I like that.
Agreed. All right, so Or I guess we can list off one off of our list at a time. So Johnny, you can list one off next.
Yeah, I will call out Mario and Donkey Kong Minis on the Move. Have you guys played that one?
Yes.
I have not played these. I've heard some pretty good things.
It's fun. Again, it's like a cool little game. I don't have a ton of experience with it. I think it was like a spur of the moment download before a business trip. I wanted something new, and it's cool. You have puzzle pieces that they pop up, and you have to make a path so that you can get your little toy Marios to the end of the level. Cool little puzzle game. Use the stylus. I don't know if I ever really got that far into it, but yeah, it's a neat little game. I don't know, John, if you've got any memories.
I think it's like, is it the third game in the franchise?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
It's funny.
It's been around, right?
Yeah, it originated on the Game Boy Advance?
I think so, yeah.
And honestly, these games, to me, seem like they draw a lot of inspiration from Mario and Wario on the Super Famicom. If you ever play that game, it's a lot of stuff is happening automatically, and you're just kind of controlling a little bit what you can control. And the stages are kind of set up the same way. Where I don't know if you guys ever play Mario and Wario, but Sam, you ought to pick it up if you haven't. It's a great one.
No, that was how I ended my extra life stream, was playing Mario and Wario.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Got it.
Just love how the plot of that game is a bucket falls on Mario's head.
Bucket falls on his head, and you can't figure it. You gotta guide him.
Funny.
So yeah, that's definitely a good one to pick up if you haven't. The game that I have first on my list is Crimson Shroud, which is a Matsuno game. He's you name it. It's an RPG guru.
Is that one of the guild games?
Yes, it's one of the level 5 guild games. And just a good RPG time. Definitely one to check out.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that one. I also have one of the guild games on my list. Aeroporter, of course.
Yes.
Ute Saito's contribution.
Oh, yeah.
So the guild series, there were 2 of them, I think. And they released as a package. I think they got a physical release in Japan, packaged together.
Yeah,
right?
They didn't release packaged in the US,
but
though.
In the US, they did not. But they eventually made their way to the eShop as, individual listings. So Aeroporter is another one of those. It is a kind of a puzzle game / airport simulation game.
Yeah, it's awful.
You are sorting luggage in an airport to make sure bags go to the correct place by manipulating these levers and things. But then it gets really in depth with the simulation at times, and then there's bomb threats, and it's just Aeroporter's great.
Nice.
All right, Johnny, you're up.
Yeah. Someone's got to say it, right? But Box Boy, we gotta call out Box Boy.
Nope, you just took one off my list.
Yeah. Well, good, because that's the last one on my list.
Oh, nice.
Glad I got to it before you did. But yeah, how could you not call out Box Boy? Just quintessential, little puzzle game. You're just a little dude. You make boxes. You try to traverse the level and get to the finish line and start it all over again with a new level. It's a ton of fun.
I think there's 3 of them on the 3DS, and they're all $5. So
yeah,
are all those on Switch now? Isn't there a Box Boy?
Is there?
There is a Box Boy.
Or is it a new one?
There's a new Box Boy game, but
Box Boy came to Switch.
Yes, I think it's Box Boy and Box Girl,
or if it's a. Oh yeah, that's.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a remake or.
Well, I think it's a new game. I don't think that there's a collection on the Switch that I know of. Definitely have to look at that. It's definitely on my list though of games that you want to get on your 3DS in case there isn't a Switch collection.
Yeah, $5.
$5, man.
Again,
you get all 3 of them for $5 a piece.
That's it. Go for Box Boy over Snood for sure. As much as I love this dude. Go Box Boy.
Definitely a little bit more fun than Snood. Another game I have on my list is Pocket Card Jockey, which
I probably need to pick that up.
Yes,
I feel like I'd enjoy it.
It's definitely one you need to pick up. It also hovers around that simulation, horse racing. I don't know what the Japanese have like a. They love their horse racing simulation game.
There's like a million Super Famicom games that didn't release here because of gambling was a concern. Simulated gambling was like, we can't do that. But yeah, it's interesting because I've been to stores that will sell imports and there'll always be like a million of those.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anyone actually wants to buy them, but
yeah, no one here at least.
This is definitely a fun one though. Like, and it's a Game Freak developed game, which is every once in a while Game Freak kind of surprises me with the things that they will develop that like are way off. I mean, whatever your biggest main franchise is Pokemon, like you definitely get weird vibes.
I'm telling you, we just need to get Pulse Man on the NSO Genesis app.
Yes, we do.
The Genesis game that Game Freak made.
Yeah, and that game's a $high game, so it needs to come to the NSO app. Like, it's the perfect combination of things. It's hard to get, it's expensive, it's a good game, so yeah, it needs to go on there. It's like a top secret.
I'll claim another one that should be obvious, and that's Pushmo. I'll just say the whole Pushmo series across 3DS and Wii U. So Pushmo World, I think, was the first Wii U one. And then there was Stretchmo and Crashmo as well, right? I haven't played all of them, but I played the original Pushmo. I think I played some Pushmo World. And I think I played Stretchmo, but not Crashmo.
Yeah, I didn't play Crashmo either.
Yeah, I haven't played any of these.
I've heard too much by that point.
I think Marty mentioned it earlier on the Nintendo Dance. You just said it. I've heard it all over the place. This is one to get. So
at one point, I remember when the Smash speculation was out of control, people were like, "Let's get." I'm blanking on his name. He has a name, right? The Pushmo guy.
He does, and I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember people talking about like, what if we put him in Smash? And I was like there for it.
Yeah,
he'd probably be OP because his whole skill set is about pushing people, and that's how you win in Smash. Pushing them off the stage. Be good at pushing things. Be the best character.
Especially if you're not movable.
Yep.
All right, John, you said you didn't have any more games?
Yeah, that's it for 3DS for me.
Since you took Box Boy, I had a runner-up that I had to mention because I don't think Seth would let us get away without mentioning Attack of the Friday Monsters, A Tokyo Tale, another guild game. Those guild games, like, you basically can't go wrong. They're all good in some way or form, and they're all different from each other. They're
all by big names in the industry.
Yeah.
It's basically, that's the concept.
Small games made by big names.
Yeah, what if we got like industry superstars to make indie games?
Yep.
For the 3DS.
And it worked. I mean, they're all fantastic.
Yeah, some of them were a little underwhelming for the pedigree they have, but I think the one, what was it called? Like Bugs versus Tanks. It was the one that Keiji Inafune made.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, in light of Mighty Number 9, maybe he just like should have retired. I don't know.
Well, I know that whenever these games came out, the 3DS was really needing that push. So if you take them in context of when they released, they were all welcome at the time for sure. I mean, now we can look back and, we have the Switch now and it's just packed full of really good indie games. Some of these might be a little vanilla after all the buffet we've had going forward. But yeah, so that's our summarized list of good 3DS games that you need to grab before the eShop goes down. And I don't think any of these are relatively expensive. I think they all sit around like the $5 to $8 range.
Yeah. I will give a shout out to some of the free games too.
Yeah.
I actually did enjoy somewhat Rusty's Real Deal Baseball. That's just a weird game.
Yeah.
Even the monetization of it's weird.
It is.
It is free to start. It's one of Nintendo's earliest free to start games. But it's like a baseball mini game collection, sort of.
Yeah.
Like you kind of unlock different training modes for baseball. It's I don't know. It's interesting. It's the kind of thing that I think there's value in preserving, even if it's not a game I'm going to play a ton. Just because it's kind of historically significant because of the fact that it was one of the earliest free to start.
And it's free. You just pick it up.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, more in the bigger scope of like, I hope there's a way for this to be preserved long term. For
we'll get a new one.
Not just people who have a 3DS now that can download it. Steel Diver Sub Wars, I had a lot of fun with. I know a lot of people didn't enjoy it, but I think there is room for that for a slow-paced submarine combat game. And also, there was one other one I was thinking of. Metroid Prime Blast Ball.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily feel as exciting once you've played like Rocket League, but it was a lot of fun at the time, even though people were down on Metroid seemingly being abandoned for this and Federation Force.
Yeah, it's definitely not like the most go-to Metroid game, but at the time it filled a gap that we had because little did we know it was still going to take quite a bit more time before we got a true Metroid game. Yeah, no, there's a lot of good gems on the 3DS that will be leaving, and unless Nintendo feels like bringing it back.
And I did confine myself to the stuff that didn't make it to Switch, because there are great eShop games that were digital only, like Azure Striker Gunvolt or Gunman Clive, that have made it to Switch.
Yep.
So
both
you can
fantastic.
still get those.
I will say the Gunman Clive is way better on 3DS with the 3D mode. Like, it's something I missed when I played through it with the on the Switch. Being able to have the game in 3D. It's not quite the effect of like playing Mario 3D Land with 3D versus them trying to like bring that to the Switch without 3D would be kind of weird. But there's just definitely something enjoyable about playing that game in 3D that I enjoyed. Another one too, all the DSiWare games that they put on the 3DS eShop there's some pretty neat stuff in there that, again, the DSi, that shop has already been gone and these got carried over to the 3DS, so this might be your last chance to play some of those if you didn't get them originally. I think there's a WarioWare game that's going to be stuck on there. A few others, but yeah, definitely that's 3DS. So now we can move on to the Wii U, which I think is going to be a little bit harder. It's like squeezing blood from a turnip. Some of those.
Yeah, definitely a lot more gold over on the 3DS for sure, right?
Yeah.
At least from my perspective.
So Sam, you can go first again.
Well, I already mentioned the Pushmo games that were on Wii U.
Yeah,
that's kind of my first one.
Okay.
Other than that, there's Wii Sports Club.
Yeah.
Which was the sort of like HD online version of Wii Sports. Obviously, we're getting Switch Sports, but we don't know if they'll ever carry over everything. I don't know. They might. They're adding golf after launch, but I don't know if they'll add like boxing or if they'll add more new things. And I'd like them to add more new things. So. But,
it's kind of. Yeah. I like that they brought all the classic games back, but I was like, man, we've played like a bunch of those games. Give me some new sports.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Johnny, you next.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the one game I've got here that I have to call out is Dr. Luigi.
Yes.
So that is kind of classic Dr. Mario with a little Luigi twist, right? They've got the L-shaped blocks, twists, changes up the puzzles a little bit, makes it interesting.
Yep.
I think it came out during the year of Luigi, right? Back,
It did.
gosh,
Was that 13?
2013?
I think so.
Yeah, so just a great game. Don't miss that one.
The game that I have first on my list is Affordable Space Adventures. I think this was this a Wii U launch game?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I was thinking that it was. No, it wasn't. This came out in 2015 is what it says. I was thinking of something else. But yeah, no, this is a good little indie game that I don't think went anywhere else. I think this is pretty much it. And you're just like a little spaceship exploring space. And like it's a good like environmental puzzle game type thing. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I remember when it came out. Even in 2015, there wasn't a whole lot going on for the Wii U. You could get excited about a game like this pretty easily. Sam, did you have any other ones, or were you just going to stick with Pushmo?
I mean, that's pretty much it for Wii U, especially.
Yeah, I think the only other one I've got to call out, which I'm not even a huge fan of, but for any Pokemon fans out there, right, you've got Pokemon Rumble U. I think it's an exclusive. So if you guys are into something like that, might be one you need to look at.
because they had the
Rumble. I did not get much out of.
Yeah, not really
I know
for
that
me.
there's
But
the Trotsai, is that like the puzzle game?
Yep.
I think there's people who enjoy that.
Which I had a copy of Trotsai and I sold it because it's pretty valuable, and I wasn't going to play it. The only one I have left on my list, since Johnny took Dr. Luigi, is Mario vs. Donkey Kong, the Tipping Stars, which was also on 3DS. And this is a cross-buy or cross-download game. So if you buy it on the 3DS, you can download it on the Wii U or vice versa. You get a code for the other console whenever you buy it.
that's pretty cool.
Yep. And it's more of the same. It's Mario vs. Donkey Kong style madness. Just the next game in the series. That's
Nice.
pretty much it. That's all the Wii U was tough because pretty much everything that was good got scavenged and brought over to the...
Yeah.
It pretty much
Yeah.
cannibalized the Wii U. You know,
Everything
nobody-
good about the Wii U is on the Switch now, with a few exceptions.
Yeah.
That would be hard to do. You know,
Yeah, go
you can't
sort
just
through
do
the virtual
Nintendo Land
console.
on the Switch.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
The virtual console is another story.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
No.
where to spend your time for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how... I think the 3DS had better eShop exclusives, and then the Wii U had the better virtual console games.
Yeah,
Definitely go
yeah, that makes sense.
pick up... I have
Because for
I have
some
a
reason
list.
they never wanted to make a Game Boy Advance available to everyone else. It wasn't an ambassador on 3DS.
Yeah, which doesn't...
I don't get that.
Why wouldn't you
Yeah,
put your
it's
handheld games on a handheld eShop?
You'd think.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, no, that's where a lot of the ones that I want to buy are coming from. Is
And the
some Game
Super
Boy
Nintendo
Advance.
games were not applicable if you didn't have a new 3DS as well.
Yeah, this
That
is
also
true.
made no sense to me.
Yeah, because
The,
it had to be powerful.
You're telling
enough
me
to
I
do
need
it.
a better processor to
Yeah,
play
play
Super
Super
Nintendo
Nintendo.
games?
Did remind me? Did the DuckTales remastered? Did that get a physical release?
Yes.
I think it did. Right.
Yeah, and
All
it's
right.
also on other
Yeah.
consoles. It's on PS3.
It is too, right?
Yep,
Love that game.
it's good. They did a good job. Which that was way forward, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yep, that's way forward.
Yep.
That should come to Switch. That'd be great.
We can't even
I'm
get the
surprised they
Saturday
haven't.
afternoon collection or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So why would we get DuckTales remastered? It's a pipe dream.
But we got Jungle Book added to the Lion King, Aladdin collection.
Oh, geez, yeah, I forgot about that because we just absolutely needed the Jungle Book game. All right.
Obviously.
Well, if any of you guys have anything else to add to 3DS or Wii U, we can have a moment of silence as we go into our break for the eShops if we want.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing more from me.
Rest in peace, eShop.
Welcome back. We're back from our break. Everyone did all the things we needed to do on breaks, and we're going to hit up the community couch. First up is another reminder, Retro Rewind, Paper Mario. Join us for the original Paper Mario game on NSO, so everyone that has Switch Online can enjoy that. If not, you'll have to reach out by other means. I would think that if you had a Wii U, you probably have Switch Online. I don't know, maybe. Or you'll have to go buy it for the N64, and it's pretty pricey. It'd be cheaper to buy a family plan at this point in time for the Switch than to buy Paper Mario on the N64, I believe. But
Well, how many years are you going to keep that family plan?
hopefully you don't need more than 1 year to play Paper Mario, but you could just do 1 year
You want
and
to
play that if you want.
times. I guess you only need a month to play it with us this month.
Well, yeah, and I think you only need a month to play it multiple times because I think, like I said, I think Drew's already beat it twice since it's released on Switch.
I mean, it's not crazy long, but it's.
I think it's like a 20-hour game, isn't it?
Yeah, that's like the best length RPG. I'm telling you,
It is, yeah. That's the
20-hour RPGs are
sweet
the
spot.
best.
Yeah.
They don't get stale.
I think like 15 to 20 is my sweet spot. That's where I really enjoy. If there's additional stuff that happens afterwards, I'm fine with that. That's for somebody else. I just want to roll credits and I'll be good. But yeah, Retro Rewind, join us, Paper Mario. And now we're going to do some questions. It's our favorite part of the show. Especially whenever, I don't know, did you guys read all these before?
I did.
Formulate
yeah,
answers.
Learn most of them.
A lot of times I come on the show and I have no idea what these questions are, and I do it on purpose because I just want to have the most raw answers. So the first question here comes from Fight Crab Fanatic, and he says, opinion, you can only pick one. iNinja 2, Billy Hatcher 2, Glover 2, or Blinks 2. I think there's only one correct answer for this, and that's got to be Billy Hatcher, right?
I guess. I mean, I'll be honest. The only one of these I've actually played is Glover, and I feel like it's not the right answer.
You have the
I've only
opposite.
played Glover and Billy Hatcher, and I would pick Billy Hatcher over Glover.
Yeah.
I literally
love for
I had
Blinks.
Glover when I was a little kid, and like, I literally didn't understand. Is there a point to the crystal transformation? You can turn the ball into a crystal, and it just breaks if you drop it, and it's game over.
I don't think there is a point.
And like,
Maybe it's hard
ever
mode.
Since I was a kid,
yeah, hard
as soon
mode.
as I did that by accident, I was just like, this game's terrible.
This game's
I don't
stupid.
want to play this ever again.
So
It was one of those rentals, and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I think Glover can.
here's how big of a fan
back
of Blinks I am. I thought there already was a Blinks 2.
I actually had been meaning to play Blinks. It's on Game Pass, even on PC.
It is, yeah. That's where I saw it. He looks, or she looks cool.
It was supposed to be
a boy or a girl.
It's supposed to be Xbox's like
Yeah, that's like, this is our Crash Bandicoot.
This is our Crash Bandicoot, and it did not pan out.
No, didn't go over well.
But like I said, I already thought there was a Blinks 2, so apparently I'm out of
my
the loop.
understanding is that Blinks isn't like a horribly bad game. It was just kind of underwhelming. And
Yeah, well, I don't think
the kind of people who were interested in Xbox didn't want a mascot platformer. Right?
Yeah, well, I mean, let's be honest. When Xbox came out and the type of people that they were pushing it towards, I don't think they cared if Xbox had a mascot regardless.
There is a Blinks 2.
Is there a Blinks 2?
Yeah, Fight Crab, your wish has been
your wish has been granted.
There we go. That's the right answer. Blinks.
There you go.
Blinks
Masters
2.
of
That's the
Time
one
and
we
Space.
wished into existence.
That's what I was like.
now.
I thought there already was a Blinks 2.
Yeah, there's a muscly pig on the cover
Nice.
next to angry
Blinks.
cat.
Of course.
Blinks. Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
All right, next up from Solo Something. What's your all Madden FE Three Houses team? And if we get another canon FE game that picks up where Three Houses left off, what sort of story arc would you like to see? I don't know. Have you played Three Houses yet, Johnny?
I have. I haven't played through all the Three Houses. I was a Black Eagles guy.
Yeah, me too.
So all my favorites.
That's the one
are
I haven't.
All right. So this should be fun.
Played the other two.
So have you done two, Johnny, or just one?
Just one. I started a second playthrough with the golden. Is it golden deer or stags? Golden
Deer.
Golden Deer.
Golden deer.
Oh man.
Yeah, I did the. I don't want to spoil, but yeah, I did the Black Eagles, and I had Edelgard on my team the whole time. If that helps.
So you did Crimson. Was it Crimson Dawn?
Yep.
Or Crimson Flower, not Silver Snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's technically 4 routes.
There is
Black
4
Eagles
routes.
branches into 2.
Two.
It branches into 2.
Yeah, I was halfway through a Silver Snow because I kind of flagged, and that's the problem with the game is the samey part of the game is the beginning. So starting a new playthrough is like you really got to push.
Yeah, that's right.
Especially for a third playthrough.
Well,
I
Did all this already.
I got to the point in my
to the
second
new
playthrough where I just allowed it to auto assign like all the stuff.
Yeah, I didn't trust it to do that. So
I mean,
it was tough. The main thing I had carrying me is this was my third playthrough started after the DLC came, so I had the new characters at least.
yeah, okay. I still haven't played the DLC
Secret
yet.
House.
Yeah, I haven't done that either. Nice, but yeah.
Well, the DLC is like separate, but then once you beat it, you can recruit those characters in the main game. So that at least like changed it up. Because by then too, like I'd recruited all of the Black Eagle House in my other playthroughs too. So it's like there just was nothing new about the first half of the game.
What was the name of the fourth house that they added?
I'm blanking on it.
It was something Wolves, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Ashen Wolves?
Ashen Wolves, yeah.
Yeah.
So me and Johnny think
Sounds
alike because I did a Black Eagles and then I did a Golden Deer as my second, and
You're missing the best one. The Blue Lions is the
I need to
best
do
route.
Blue
That's what I heard.
Lions.
Yeah, I should go back into it.
It's the best route. It's weird. I feel like the Golden Deer is the worst route, but they actually give you the most like closure on the story.
Yeah.
I just feel like that the individual character arc of Claude is the least interesting out of the 3 leaders.
He is. He's very plain. And
Yeah,
He has the most personality up front, but he
does.
basically
He's
doesn't develop.
Shallow.
yeah, he just
Shallow
stays that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think to answer this question for Solo here, I honestly I think I would just keep everybody from the Black Eagles. Like I think they were all my favorite characters out of the 2 houses that I fully played, and nobody on the like playing through the story, nobody on the blue, what were they, the blue lions, none of them really seemed that interesting to me, just seeing them from the outside. So I think I would just stick with the complete Black Eagles house as my Madden team.
All my people were from the Black Eagles as well. I didn't fill out a whole roster, but yeah, Edelgard for sure. You got to have her, right? I mean, how can you go wrong with the platinum blonde, right?
One with the big axe, like.
That's it, man. You always got to go for the big axe.
Big axe.
Dorothea, I loved her. She just always like, I don't know. Every time I'm like, I'll take you to tea. Let's do it. You know. Bernadetta, you had a soft spot for her, right? You know,
get out of your
like
room.
hiding in her room. Yeah, get out of your room, right? And then it's not Casper, it's Caspar, right? Caspar is how they Caspar. He was like my brawler guy. I kind of went down that route with him.
The same one.
Yeah. And he just tore it up, man. He was a badass. So yeah, so those are sort of my 4 favorites.
And then as far as for the next game, would you like to see it continue or be a whole different story? Like, what do you think?
Oh, definitely something new. I'm not a fan of what they're doing, what they seem to be doing with the Warriors, because it seems like a Hyrule Warriors
Did the same thing.
Age of Calamity all over again. It's like a whole alternate timeline.
Yeah.
We're just gonna like why even use these same characters if you're gonna change everything about?
Well, you got to sell it somehow. You got to hook into people who bought 3 houses. Like me, is my first Fire Emblem game, and if I was interested, if I didn't play Age of Calamity, I'd be like, oh, this seems pretty cool. But I'm Muso'd out over here.
Well, yeah, it's also a Warriors game, so I'm not gonna play it. But
Yeah.
I'm on the fence, but
I think carry it over. I'm actually hoping the next game doesn't repeat too much. I hope they don't get too complacent. Like, if they try to do the exact same like setup, like if they try to have it be a school again,
if they Pokemon my Fire Emblem, I'm not going to be happy.
Yeah, but it's like, and I'm trying to think too, like if they want to continue this structure for this, which they will, because this game did a lot better. You know, are they going to want to keep this like tutoring mechanic, these like social mechanics in? How's that going to work with a more typical Fire Emblem context? You know, because the premise of 3 houses set up for that, and I don't know if they can do that again without basically making it 3 houses again.
Yeah.
So
I like the concept, but I could definitely like playing through that game, like the way they designed it to make you play through several times. Like, I don't think I want to do that for another round. Like, I can't see myself playing through the next game 3 times.
Well, that's yeah. If they do the branching, and they were doing that with Fates too, and that was a hot mess, really.
Oh yeah.
Especially with the 3rd route. Yeah, I mean, 3 houses won me back, but I'm still kind of skeptical about Fire Emblem as a series in a lot of ways. My greatest hope for the next Fire Emblem game is that it's actually a remake of Fire Emblem 4.
Yeah, I would take that. But yeah, no, I agree. The 3 houses kind of brought it back to the mainstream players. Like, you didn't have to be a huge Fire Emblem person to get into 3 houses. They made it kind of palatable for everybody. Which
Very much accessible.
Yeah.
You're talking to one right now. That was my first Fire Emblem game. I loved it.
Well, and I appreciated that, you know, even though there's definitely this dating sim aspect that's baked into the series forever now. At least it was classy this time.
Yeah.
You're just drinking tea. It's not,
it's
let me invite
time.
you to my room so I can pet you.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
Johnny's like,
Fire
I gotta go
Emblem
back and
Fates
play these
was,
other
you know,
games.
Is that
it was
eShop exclusive?
interesting.
Let's go. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, it was very, very tastefully done. I will say, though, maybe I'm just getting old, but I had a hell of a time trying to play that on handheld. I could not read that text like half the time. I had to throw it on the TV.
Yeah, I think I played the majority of my time on a monitor. And everybody that's listening, make sure if you're in Discord to ask Dan what his favorite house was when he played.
Yep.
Everybody needs to add in with his favorite house.
His favorite house is the Orange Garfield.
Yes, the Orange Garfield house.
Orange Garfields. Yeah,
The orange
the lasagna cats.
All right. Next question comes from Flightsy. He says, is there a way to get somebody to draw I'm Sorry John art, but with Dan instead of John in the picture? So this one went right over my head. I totally missed.
It's a meme, right? It's a Garfield meme.
Yeah, it's basically just let's draw Garfield as if he's some eldritch horror And he's always saying, "I'm sorry, John."
That's right. Yeah. No, yeah. When I first read that just went. Whew, I had no idea what he was talking about.
It took me
It
a
sounds to
second.
me like he volunteered himself. So
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll be seeing that soon, I'm sure.
Yeah. You don't want my art. You'd get Microsoft Paint stick figures
Yep.
and a clip art of Blinks the cat for Garfield.
Yeah. With the what is it? Marie Callender lasagna on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man. Good stuff.
So the next question comes from Chris HL, and he asks, Hambone Johnny, please tell the RetroLogic host why they should play and talk more about sports games. And then he asks all three of us hosts, which I fired back earlier, that I do play some sports games, they're just not my go-to.
Yeah. And I asked him if he's familiar with the tale of Sisyphus. You know, the guy who's fated to hell to push a boulder up a never-ending hill. Yeah. Because that's what it's like, man. If you guys aren't into sports games, you can't force it on anybody. But I don't know. I think a couple of sports games came up tonight, right? We talked Rusty's Real Deal Baseball. We had some Retro Bowl. Discussing earlier. Sam, I know you're a fan of Mario Tennis, right? So it's I think
Is arms a sport?
I mean, it's kind
boxing.
of boxing, right? Right. You can make an argument that a fighting game is a sports game too.
Pocket card jockey.
Yeah, it's
horse racing.
This is a sports episode now.
If you've ever played Harvest Moon, right? 64, you got the horse racing over there too. So
there is,
look at that. But I don't know. I think the problem with sports games is like there's no innovation, right? If you're not into football, then what's going to hook you in there, right? Like NFL Blitz, that was super fun.
Yeah,
because
Blitz
it was
great.
Like a crazy take on football. We're all pumped about Strikers because it is a soccer-like game, right? It's not FIFA.
Well, yeah, and
less soccer
oftentimes
than
when
game.
people say sports games, they confine it to sports simulations. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
if that's all we mean by that, then that's a pretty narrow slice of what games can do. You know, if you're just talking about your Madden, your MLB The Show, but if you include something like, say, Rocket League,
Yeah, sure.
and to me, that's far more interesting in a lot of ways, is to create a game that is like a sport. I mean, you're putting a ball in a net, at the very least, but also doing things you couldn't do in real life, that nobody can do in real life, or shouldn't, at the very least.
I mean,
Shouldn't.
I mean, we could get some cars and drive them into each other, and
that's Demolition
try to knock
Derby.
a ball
That's
in the
not
net,
Rocket League.
That's it.
might not be very safe, and still wouldn't look the same as Rocket League. You know, you wouldn't be getting the hang time those cars get in the air.
And I can say that I agree with Chris HL's higher calling that, you know, we do need more of Madden and simulation sports to come back to the Switch. You know, they've been missing from Nintendo for a while. Just because there is a good portion of
Hey,
owners
MLB The
that
Show's
wanna
on
play
Switch
'em.
now.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's the domino that starts the effect, you know, just...
And it's like made by Sony, so
Yeah.
anything can happen, I suppose.
Is it made by Sony? Like, I know
Or
Sony had the
published.
exclusivity for
Sony
a
does
long time.
something.
Well,
Sony is somehow involved in it.
Sony did have exclusivity of the game for a very long time, but I don't
Is that
think
just
it's...
a deal they made?
I think so, yeah.
I thought they were
think so.
contributing to publishing or something.
They probably were while it was exclusive, but
Yeah.
Now
there's
that
there's the publisher.
yeah, now that it's being opened up to other markets, it probably won't be published by Sony anymore. Somebody else has probably picked it up.
Well, baseball's being canceled anyway, so
So, well, that's all the more reason for this game to come to the
That's
Switch.
it.
Everyone's getting
might
the
as well
baseball
get
fix.
some video games out there, because
Yeah.
the actual player, they can't come to an agreement with their actual players. So
Yeah. So, yeah, I think the moral of the story is the next time there's a cool arcadey non-simulation type game, let's revisit this discussion.
Yes.
And see if we can get everybody all together. Next time being Strikers, because I think there's a general hype around that in all of our communities.
We're all ready for it.
Absolutely.
All right, so our next...
Actually, I played just while we're throwing random sports games out there, on the TurboGrafx Mini, I don't think I even mentioned this when I was running down the TurboGrafx games I played a couple weeks ago. There's a croquet game, and it's actually kind of fun.
That's hilarious.
It's all in Japanese, so I didn't know what was going on, but I was like, yeah, it's called like Gate Ball.
Awesome.
Which might be the Japanese name for croquet, or maybe it's technically a different game. I don't know.
You might not have had any idea what rules you were playing with.
Yeah.
I hit the ball through the gate.
That's all you got to... Yeah, that's what you do.
We need like a lawn sports collection, right? Like let's get the jarts going, lawn darts,
bocce.
Get some bocce, bago, or cornhole, whatever you want to call it.
I would be very interested to see like a just ludicrous like Mario Strikers level take on bocce ball. I would
love it. Or like
ladder ball or washers or
washers or gosh, what's with the beer bottle and the frisbee? Is it Polish horseshoes or something like that? What's it called?
Yeah, there's something called Can Jam now. That's like
Can Jam is that's my jam.
Modified take on it. Yeah,
I love Can Jam. But I would love to see. Are you guys familiar with like the Outlaw Golf or Outlaw like volleyball series?
Yeah, those on.
Yeah, I think like that sort of style with backyard sports, that would be so cool.
Oh yeah, somebody will make it at some point.
That's it.
All right, so Neo Prime 33, which is Tim from the Nintendo Dads, asks, would you rather go back in time and play one game with your kid self? If so, which game and system? Or go back in time and show off the Nintendo Switch to your kid self? If so, what year would this be and how old would you be?
This is a great question.
I'm thinking go back in time and play with myself as a kid. That would be, I don't know. Like, knowing about the Switch ahead of time, like, that's cool, but...
There's nothing that says you can't play with yourself, your kid self, with the Switch. Yeah, when you go back.
Oh, well, that might be even more ideal.
Yeah.
You kind of get to do both.
Yeah.
I could actually...
Show your kid self arms.
Nintendo 64 games on the Switch, too.
That would be weird, yeah. So, especially if you went back before the N64. It's like, this is what you have to look forward to.
I know,
twice.
Right? Like, go suffer for 20 more years, guys. But I probably would go back to my kid self as well, and watch them play something or play with them. I probably would go back to Christmas, the year we got Ocarina of Time, I think, and just not even play with, but just kind of experience my old self, like going through that game for the first time.
About it.
So excited, just seeing that look on my face, and I was waiting so long to play that game. That's probably what I would do, and just sort of experience that nostalgia firsthand.
Yeah, I think I would go back and take the Switch with me around like the launch of the DS era and be like, this is what a real handheld is going to be in the future. And, the DS is around the time where I was kind of off video games. Like, I think, let's see, that was... When did the DS come out? Was that 2004? 2005?
Yeah. So I was totally off. I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, I was starting up college, and I was not playing video games at the time.
No, same.
So I missed out on a lot of good DS games, and maybe showing myself, hey, the Switch is coming out in the future, stick with it. I might have stayed with it and played some more games instead of doing some of the other things I probably shouldn't have been doing while I was going to college. Might have worked out better in the end.
Oh, man.
And the last question on the show tonight comes from Spider-Shan, and he asks, which would you rather play for the rest of your lives and why? And we'll go through the list here that he's provided, and he wants to know, if you only had to have one of these, which would it be? 2D or 3D Mario games? Which one's got to be dumped?
2D.
2D?
2D.
I'm a 3D guy for Mario.
I think Mario is the one where 3D probably has the most appeal to me.
That's
But
why I'm going
for
in.
the
'cause
other two, I definitely prefer the 2D.
I think I have to go 3D on Mario games. And then 2D or 3D Zelda. Which one would you guys said you'd rather have 2D?
2D for Zelda. Yeah, for me, for sure.
Man, I don't know. Like
The
before
top-down Zeldas, I think, have always had better puzzles.
before
better
Breath of the
dungeons.
Wild, I probably would have said 2D. But like if they came out and said tomorrow that the sequel's canceled, and instead you get a sequel to Link's Awakening, and it's that same size as the original,
that would be a letdown.
That would be a letdown. Yeah, like I don't know if I could go without 3D Zelda now. So I think I'd have to go 3D on Zelda too. I mean, I love the 2D Zelda games. Don't get me wrong, but to have to go the whole rest of my life without having 3D again, I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just recency bias with playing Oracle of Seasons, but with Link to the Past being my favorite Zelda game, I know it's hard not to pick 2D.
All right.
Same.
Next up is Metroid games. 2D for me for sure.
Yep.
So I've never played
2D
Metroid Prime.
Metroid is what defined Metroidvania. Generally, we talk about, you could maybe apply that label to Prime. Maybe you could apply that label to some 3D platformers that are kind of more collectathons. But you look at what people called Metroidvanias when indie studios were making it, they were all 2D. That's part of that whole genre's identity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
I have
sense.
to agree.
I've never played a 3D Metroid, so I've acquired
I barely
Prime
played
1 and 2,
Prime.
so
You
I'm
didn't
gonna
play.
have to try it
I
out.
rented.
You didn't play the demo for Prime
I rented
Hunters.
the trilogy. I rented
No.
the trilogy on Wii and played through the first 2 hours of the first Prime.
But yeah,
All right.
so I'd have to go 2D as well.
So 2D across the board on that one. The last one he has on here is RPGs from the NES, SNES era, or PS1, PS2 era.
SNES,
My gut
NES.
says Super Nintendo. I have a little hesitation when I think about the number of especially the PS1
Oh yeah.
RPGs that I enjoyed, but at the end of the day, my general perception of those later RPGs are that's when they started to get a little bloated with side quests and cutscenes and just go back to on the other hand, your Super Nintendo, your NES RPGs do tend to sometimes have a lot of that frustration of games that just don't give you any quality of life, give you tiny amounts of inventory space, and it's a chore to sell your stuff at the shop and buy new equipment. But the best of the best, if we're just comparing that, give me Chrono Trigger and Earthbound and even the Enix stuff that I've been playing lately. If we can include stuff like Terra Enigma in there.
Yep. Thing, when I look at this though, I've already experienced a lot of the NES, SNES library of RPGs. If you wake up tomorrow and the PS1, PS2 ones just vanished and you didn't have a chance to experience them, I think I have to pick the PS1, PS2 because I didn't have either one of those consoles during that time frame, whenever they were relevant.
That's a fair point.
Yeah,
There
that's a
are
good
a
point.
lot of, especially if you start getting into those translation patches, there are a lot of Super Famicom RPGs that are worth playing.
We'll see. We got Live Alive later this year to add to that list. So
Yep.
I'm going NES, Super NES as well. For myself, I don't want to live in a world without Chrono Trigger. As much as I love the Final Fantasy series, and there's, I don't want to give the normie answer, but, Final Fantasy 7 and 10 are some of my favorite from those.
But 6 is the best one.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it's like, and there's a lot of other ones out there that I have never experienced, like you, John, from the PlayStation era. So I like what I like, and I'll go with the SNES.
I mean, I've been trying to grab some of the PS1 era RPGs, and man, a lot of them have just totally skyrocketed to the point where
the PS1 RPGs definitely have.
I'm probably going to try to pick up more of them on the PlayStation shop, just to be able to get them at some point, and not spend, probably buy all the ones that I want for the price of what it would cost me to buy, Vagrant Story or anything from the PS1 era that's $100 plus right now, just to get a hold of. But yeah, no, I would have a hard time giving up Chrono Trigger as well. And of course, Sam, you would lose Earthbound, which would probably be pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Kind of attached.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I think that about does it for this show. We're gonna say thanks for everybody listening to the RetroLogic podcast. We are proudly part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. If you like what you hear, you can check Dan out on Twitter and Instagram at RetroLogic Games. You're also welcome to jump into our friendly and 100% non-toxic Discord community. The link to that is in Dan's Twitter bio. You can also find everything on our website at retrologic.games. And that being said, good night, all.
Good night.
Good night.
Well, I think we're going to wrap this one up kind of early. We get some sleep. Without Dan on here, we're not talking as near as much.
That's it.
I don't know.
Get some more Elden Ring and some more triangle strategy
in here.
Yeah, we talked
for like
forever.
2.5 hours or something.
Yeah, who did we have on with us? That might have been the one we had Drew. We did the N64 games.
I think Dan was there for that.
Was he?
I don't know.
No, the one time that we did the GoldenEye, he wasn't there.
Oh, yeah.
That was a really long
That's
one.
why we had to go on someone else's podcast to talk about GoldenEye.
Yes.
Couldn't hold it in.
That's it. That's exactly why.